Hi, it's Jay Shelton, San Jose. It is Saturday, April 2nd, 10th, geez, second video I made today. I was going to do this the other night, but I didn't know, exactly what to say. But Derrick Ferguson died on April 4th, and some of you will know who that is. And he was like one of the, I wouldn't say original podcasters, but he was in the frontier days of podcasting when I discovered him. Probably, and I don't know how long it's been now. Well, quite a while. When I first found the podcast he and Thomas DJ, his friend, were doing out of Brooklyn, Better in the Dark, a film podcast, and they were really funny and loose talking and just friends talking about films. And they grew up in the New York area, so they got a lot of the same television shows that I got growing up. And they weren't university trained film scholars by any means, which was why they were enjoyable. They were guys that knew a lot about film. They knew a lot of stuff, and they had some interesting opinions. But so it was pretty interesting. It wasn't dry at all. And I was on the show via Skype a couple times, recording a couple times. But one time when I was in New York area, they actually let me come in and Derrick's house in Brooklyn, and we recorded an episode and talked about Bond and growing up in the shows we watched and that kind of thing. Anyway, I got to meet his wife Patricia briefly. I doubt she remembers that because he was so influential to so many people. He was a Pulp Fiction writer. He had a character, Dylan, Dillon, that you read Pulp Adventures of. You could look that stuff up on Amazon if you're interested. But anyway, I just thought I'd remark that he's a pretty young guy. I think he was only a couple years older than me, maybe 60. I know he'd worked security in schools. He's a huge guy, big guy. So I don't know what the cause was. I don't know. I hate to say COVID related, but that's what comes to mind, but we don't know that. So I guess there's a service in Brooklyn on the 16th, Woodward Funeral Home, 10 to 11, on the 15th, in Brooklyn, Troy Avenue. If anybody's in the area that knew Derrick Ferguson. But anyway, I used to love his podcast, and he had recently been doing one about superhero films and such, but I really didn't know that much about that one. Anyway, so just making note that what I think one of the great original podcasters, it's already gotten so watered down, it hasn't even been around that long, when it was just the Wild West. So go listen to some of it if you haven't, and I guess that's all. Fade to black.